Hey, y'all coming in. It's been a while. Following up from a video that I just posted about my total knee replacement, and I'm just checking in because previous videos about my status on my total knee replacement can be found on TikTok. I'm not going to pull those previous videos over to YouTube. You can find me under D-Town Deidre on TikTok and see some of the earlier updates that I had following my knee replacement surgery. I just decided to post that particular video here because it is kind of like the most recent video of things that I've been going through. I know that people are having total knee replacements. It's like as soon as you have a total knee replacement surgery, you meet a lot of people who are also having total knee replacement surgeries, or they are looking for others who've had it and they want to learn about it. So I decided to put a 8-week follow-up on YouTube, and I found it to be very important to do so because when you're anticipating having the surgery, especially if you did extensive research prior to the surgery, and then right after you have the surgery, I think it's kind of good to know what people look like or how do they feel at that 8-week point, that 2 months post-op. So that's why I wanted to share it on YouTube. Now, I did some research prior to my surgery, but I thank God that I didn't do extensive research because it probably would have scared me away. I was highly motivated to get that surgery because prior to 2 months prior to the surgery, I ended up on a cane. I am 55, soon to be 56, and I've never needed a cane, and I didn't want to start using a cane. So I was highly motivated to move forward with my surgery. I have been having knee pain, knee issues for years. So, so I'm glad I didn't do too much because I think it would have scared me. However, once you know you need it, you go ahead and you get it, especially if you have a surgeon that you can trust. I really feel great about my surgeon. He's highly recommended. I am in Ohio, southwestern Ohio, and I had Dr. Michael Raab, last name spelled R-A-A-B, through Premier Health. So that's one thing. I just wanted to just kind of mention why you can tell that I was given updates in that video, but my other week by week updates can be found on TikTok. So there's that. I am kind of on a break, and so I just wanted to pop in and say a few things. Another quick thing, prior to my surgery, I had all these goals, and I still have goals. You got to have goals. Please have goals if you're going to have that surgery, because one thing about it, if you don't establish your goals, I believe that you can be overtaken by how you feel after surgery. So one of my goals is to get back on my motorcycle and ride and I call my Harley Davidson freewheeler, which is a trike, I call it a motorcycle. Some people who ride motorcycles don't consider or rather that trike riders refer to them as trikes. You're going to hear me call it a motorcycle because I done rode all the way across this country, and it's so whatever. I call it what I want. But anyway, my goal is by the end of the summer to get on that bike and do a ride. So now that I am in April, end of April, it is about to be May. Today is April 30th, 2026. the question is, do I believe that by the end of the summer, and when I say the end of the summer, I'm thinking of like towards the end of August, even though I know that's technically not the end of the summer. Do I believe that I'm going to be ready to do a trip on my freewheeler? I don't know. One of the things that I'm still dealing with is pain. Pain and tightness in my knee. I'm walking without a cane. Physical therapy is going great. So, okay, so I do know that the first thing I'm going to do is work on mounting and dismounting, or, dismounting my bike. I have no doubt that I can do it. I do believe that I'm going to do it with a little pain. Now, my husband is in the process of getting my bike in a position so I can do it, because he's doing a little work on my bike. So I'm not able to mount it yet. But I know I can do it. But, I believe I'm going to feel a little pain initially. Not too worried about it, but I'm just telling you that's what I know. Everyone tells me, and I believe this based on how I'm feeling and how I'm moving. Everyone tells me who's experienced a total knee replacement or who works with people who have had total knee replacements that it is going to take about a year for me to feel like myself. So February of 2027 is when I will feel like myself. That sounds crazy to me, but now that I'm in it and feeling how I feel, I believe that. Also, I will say that although I know that it's going to take me those additional months, I still feel better every day. And I think it's because I push myself. So there's that. One thing that I really would like to do is vlog or check in daily. I've gotten so far out of it. First of all, I don't think I've ever checked in daily on YouTube. I'd like to come in and check. I have so much, first of all, to say. I have a lot going on too. So, last year was incredibly stressful for me. And I actually have recorded multiple videos about things I was going through last year that I have designated as private. There is going to come a day that I will be able to openly share those videos. This is not that time. But they were from kind of early on last year. But then I just got so overwhelmed with lots and lots of things that, just the desire to pick up a camera, the desire to do certain things just wasn't there. One thing I am gathering from watching some of my favorite vloggers, and I have a whole lot of new people that I watch, and maybe one day I'll discuss that. But one thing that has motivated me to pick the camera up again and just turn it on and just upload is because of watching other YouTubers, especially women in my age range. Don't get me wrong, I do watch some of the younger ones, but in the 40 and up, mostly there's a lot in the 50s now. A lot of people starting retirement channels now. I'm really into that, and I like listening to them just like as a background. I call them like another coworker, but just hearing what they're going through, hearing what they're doing in life, hearing how they're saving money, hearing how they're investing, seeing how they've made decisions on preparing for their futures, listening to how they travel, travel ideas, family plans, just things like that. So, I can check in pretty regular, and just say, hey, and tell you where I'm at in things. I can discuss some things about my mom. My mom is in assisted living, and I help her. I am her, I am her power of attorney, um, her guardian. There's some things I had to learn along the way, but people told me and taught me things that I could share. There's investments that I made with my husband, of course, over the years that have been a benefit to us, that, little tips and trips that I learned in YouTube University, some of those things that have benefited us at this time in our life, and that are, benefiting our family. And when I come on to talk, I'm not coming on, it's not boastful, is to share information, because that's how I learned it, because someone taught me. And I know for a fact that the state that we're in now, with all this information, it can be a blessing and a curse. But if we look for the blessings in it, let's get blessed, let's be blessed, and let's share. One of the things that I want to talk about right now, and I got to keep in mind for myself that I don't have to say it all in this video, because I got every day to talk to y'all and check in and chat it up with y'all. But I'm just gonna put this out here, because this is important for any person in your family that may eventually need you as their power of attorney, and also for whatever you're trying to set up for your family. Consider a trust, a irrevocable trust. I wish I thoroughly understood it. I wish I thoroughly understood it, because I literally could have saved more of my mother's money. Okay. But, I was able to preserve some. But what I'm going to suggest you do is to learn all you can about an irrevocable trust. Take that trust. And I didn't go to a lawyer for that. But let me tell you something. I downloaded the trust template off of the Googles. I completed the trust for my mom, on behalf of my mom, with her blessings, and we had it notarized. Okay. That's it. I did register it with our county in Ohio. Later, years later, I took it to an attorney who just reviewed it after the fact and read it from, I'm going to say, head to toe, and said, this is a legally binding, standing trust for your mom. And I've been able to use that along with, don't get me wrong, I have the guardianship, and I am her power of attorney, but that trust protected her property. A lot of times you'll hear that when a person has to go into an assisted living or into a nursing home, that they will access, or the nursing home will have the right, and I don't even know, I'm saying the nursing home, but it might be something on the level of Medicaid or whatever, will have the right to request that, or require a person to sell their property, and use that funding to pay towards the nursing home or the assisted living facility, prior to putting them in the state of being able to receive the funds that they need for their monthly care. A trust protects the property. It becomes the property of the trust. I won't teach on that. I am not a financial person, but I can tell you that it protected my mom's assets, the things that she worked many, many years for. It protected her. And the same will be true for my family. So we don't have to wait until our parents are old and gray, and because they're older than us, and you might have those stubborn parents who will not let you help them. Believe me, I have worked and still work with a parent that is stubborn and doesn't like to work with me on things. But in this case, I was able to prevail and protect her things even when she hadn't, thought of it before. So now I'm in a position in which me and my husband, we're in a position in which we want to get ahead of that when it comes to our adult children. It shouldn't have to be after it's too late, or we can barely, do what we need to do, to ensure that we are protecting our assets. We're not working to give it all up to people. This is, it's nothing new. It might be new to us, but it doesn't have to be. We need to teach each other and show each other. Okay, let me tell you another thing that I feel like I'm discovering. It's because of social media though. So, but I feel like I'm a little late to the party. I think my mom has always, when she was able to get out and about, she was always like a Dollar Tree shopper. Always Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar, probably some. My mom was always the type, and when I say was, I just say it because she's not able to get out and about, but she always would go into stores and take her time. She was on her own time. She was retired. So she took her time, went up and down every aisle and found all kinds of deals. Whereas me in my past, I have always went in and out. I knew what I wanted. I was in and out. And so in these later years in my life, I am realizing, first of all, I am kind of slowing down. I'm learning to take my time, nowhere near her slow roll. But in doing so, you find the deals. And so one thing that I am starting to discover are all of the good deals that you can get at places like Dollar Trees, discount like little stores and outlets in your area, resales, stores, just things like that. By taking your time and looking and seeing what they have, even places such as Ross in the area for skincare, like, you see all of the influencers, and I wasn't even following influencers much when it comes to, like, for example, Korean skincare, but I know that that's something that's been kind of pushed a lot. And you look online and you're seeing, and I don't even know, like, if I kind of watch and follow somebody and see improvement in their skins, I guess in their skin, I probably would know. But so I don't know what's supposed to be the best. I don't know what's supposed to be some of the best prices, but I do know that just on a whim, because I was in Ross one day, I saw two facial cleansers for like $5 that were Korean skin cleansers. I thought, let me try it. Why not? Just because I kind of heard, as I go through TikTok, seeing influencers talk about it. First of all, it contains collagen. It contains all this great stuff. My first impression was, as soon as you put it on, the way it lathers was just, oh my gosh, the best I've ever felt. And I found it to, like, instantly make a difference in my skin, like instantly. I'm not saying that I'm blemish free. I'm not. Never had a lot of blemishes anyway, but it just feels different, and I can tell improvements in my skin. I can just see it, to a point that I was at an event last week and someone made a comment about my skin. And I quickly said, oh, it was my Korean skincare, but I got it for $5. My point is that those are some things that I'm starting to like find out about and learn about. So anyway, I already know that this video is all over the place. I have so much that I could talk about and that I will talk about. If you just like hanging out with a coworker and chit-chatting, you know, that coworker that just be in your ear and chit-chatting while you're working, take it upon yourself to subscribe to my channel. I'll be dropping in here and there to chit chat with you while you work or while you walk or while you shop, and just catch up. Just chit chat about things that are on my mind, things that I like to share. But one thing that I'm gonna just leave you with, if you haven't already done so, check on an irrevocable trust and the benefits of having it. And there is a cheap way to do it. You can get a lawyer, get it if you want. That's not what I did. I did it myself. Later, years after the fact, I had a lawyer look at it, and they said it's good to go. I highly recommend that you register it with your county. Do that for your family, and it's something to be looked at kind of probably on a yearly basis to make sure of what needs to change. I'm working on one for my immediate family and offsprings and my assets. I did it for my mom and saw the benefit of it. I've learned some things that I wish I knew when I did hers, meaning of how her assets, her especially her financial assets were already protected. I didn't need to continue to, pay large amounts to her monthly rents. Could have stopped that, man, really early on. It's an expensive lesson, but I learned it. Learn that. Okay. And if you got anything to share about what you know on that topic or any of the topics that I just brought up today, feel free to drop it. Feel free to join me. We can chit chat, be coworkers, walking buddies. You know what I'm saying. So you take care.